Welcome back to Because We Got High with Rhea, Kelly, and Bree. It is a lovely Wednesday afternoon while we're recording. The pineapple has been inhaled by all three of us today. You can see it on our faces.
Yes.
Chock full of pineapple. The smiles are big. The eyes are bright. And you two are okay. I feel like we got a lot of questions this week because you two were on Surviving Barstool. You participated in that version of a reality TV show on Barstool. For people who don't know, go watch it on YouTube, the website. You can go check that out there. But both Bree and Kelly were on it, and you guys had an alliance, and then Bree voted Kelly off. And then Kelly did not vote for Bree to win the $10,000 in the end. So you guys both fucked each other, and people were messaging me as if I would tell them what was going on, like as being like the outside person being like, Rhea, you have to let us know if Kelly and Bree are okay. Rhea, is the podcast going to be okay? Rhea, I'm kind of mad that Kelly didn't vote for Bree. Rhea, I'm kind of mad that Bree voted Kelly out. Like all different angles coming my way. So girls, how are we doing? Are you two okay?
We feel
we're fine.
We're fine, but also like this is the F episode, so you know, like fuck you, Bree, like literally fuck you. Can't
Kelly.
believe
like,
this.
Never forget.
And
it was wild.
Yeah,
and
no, it was the craziest thing to be a part of. Like it was legit reality TV, and we had to be cutthroat, and it was fucked up, and I'm still recovering from it.
It was I have a different thought. I thought it was like so much fun because
it was fun.
It was fun, but it was like very stressful. But I took it as an opportunity to like just act out however I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I just was like, I'm gonna be an asshole, and so that was like good for me. And then I look back and I'm like, yeah, this was a tough situation. Maybe I should have been nicer.
And they can make you look however you want, like however they want you to look. They do it. So we looked crazy.
It was wild.
Now, I feel like this is a great way to segue into Friends, because there was something that you two said to each other that I damn near fell off my chair. I gasped. I was like, I don't know if they can be friends after this. So I want to talk about, obviously, Friends. That's the first F. This episode's F. So we got Friends, fears, and fetishes. Hard word now.
Fetishes is hard, yeah.
You know when you say a word too much and it doesn't sound like a word anymore? That's one of them. Like
that's exactly how I feel today. I've typed fetish so many times today that I'm like, what?
Is that even a word anymore?
Yeah.
Fetish doesn't feel real, but we will be talking about those. But wait, before we get into the topics, just a reminder to tag us on Instagram and Twitter. BC We Got High is the handle, Because We Got High, BC for short. Because tag us on your stories, tag us in your tweets, and we will be sharing every single one of them. They will not go unnoticed because we love sharing you guys. We love getting the message out there. So make sure you tag us if you're listening on Instagram and on Twitter. And also don't forget, the episodes are out on YouTube every single day, the same day, later in the day. So if you want to wait to listen, you can watch it on YouTube. We're starting off with F. I think there are so many different ways we can go with this. Friends, how important friendships are. Work friends. Friend breakups, which almost happened to you guys. So where do you guys want to start?
I think want to start out with friend breakups and bring it back around to good loving friends before we move to fears.
Let's start off with the bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Start with the bad.
Like, let's all talk about, like, I feel like everyone has one friend or like one person that they thought they were friends with. Then you look back and you're like, we were never fucking friends. Like, that was in a toxic relationship. Did you guys ever have like a toxic friend?
Absolutely.
In seventh grade, I did. In seventh grade, I had, because in high school, I feel like I didn't have, if you weren't my friend, you were not my friend. If we were friends, we were friends. There wasn't like an in-between. In seventh grade, this fucking bitch, she who always like wanted to pretend to be my friend, I had a crush on this boy. She called me up on the phone. I think we're talking on the phone. And she's like, Rhea, can you sing Swagger Like Us? You know that song? No one in the corner has swagger.
Yes.
Swagger Like Us. Right.
Yes.
I loved that song. So she was like, Rhea, can you sing Swagger Like Us? And I was like, duh. No one in the corner has swagger like us. So picture me, I'm in sixth grade, seventh grade, sitting on my bed, whatever. And I hear like a little giggle on the other line, and turns out my crush was on the other line. So it was her, and she had my crush on the other line
to go about
tricking me.
It's fucking mean.
It's so mean, and it's one of those things that I've never let go. I'm pretty sure I made a TikTok about it.
I feel like your crush should have been impressed.
Yeah, impressed. Also, that was, you just like got Mean Girls. Like that's like literally the plot of Mean Girls. Like how did that? I can't believe that they just used the plot of Mean Girls against you.
And
to embarrass
first
you
of
like
all,
that.
the reason I knew that song was because he was a big Lil Wayne fan. So I memorized like every Lil Wayne song, Steady Mobbin', knew it front to back for him. And so, yeah, I thought he'd be impressed, but they really just made fun of me. And recently I made a TikTok about it and I put it up, and she messaged me, no joke. I will find the message right now because I was stunned that she messaged me, and her message made her seem so fucking guilty that still to this day I'm like, you're a fucking bitch.
You read it. Bitch. Who you're always
does that
a bitch.
to people? Okay, I'm typing it in. She
I'm
wrote,
dying.
I can't believe she messaged you.
She responded, LMAO, was it me? Because I don't think so, laughing faces. Why would you respond? I'll show you guys. Why would you respond? Oh, you can't even see that. Noah's gonna have to block out.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, like she's not, you guys don't speak. You're not friends. And all of a sudden, randomly, she's gonna reach out after this where she was clearly the one
me? Like it
was.
Fucking idiot.
No
it
prior
was you.
DMs. We didn't even go to high school together, so we haven't spoken in years. LMAO, was it me? Because I don't think so, laughing faces. Bitch, if it wasn't you, why would you incriminate yourself and respond?
Why would you even think to say that? Like, obviously it was fucking you.
It's
like,
so
what do
you have to reach out and say, was it me? Because I don't think so. It was you. It was you.
Fucking you.
So that was like in middle school when you're figuring out your friends, and there's the girls that are giving blowjobs and hand jobs, like those two sluts in 7th grade. And then they're mean to you, and they make you sing Swagger Like Us and embarrass yourself in front of your crush, who then he like cheated on me or whatever, cheated, quote unquote, with her best friend. So clearly it was a little rouge to kick me out of the picture. So
ruse?
Oh, ruse. Sorry,
Rhea,
guys.
if you ever sang swagger like that to me, I would have married you on the spot. Fuck that guy.
Thank you.
I mean, that's just
Brie.
that's just the dumbest shit. But you know, it's oh my god, the drama! Like, what is this? I can't believe this.
I don't remember my first kiss, but whatever.
What's interesting? What's interesting? I think about about friends or whatever in that way is like, bitches, if they're like that, they will stay like that forever, and they'll just like treat other people like that in different ways, like more mature ways. Like, sure, maybe that was like a 3-way call that embarrassed you. As an adult, you go to like a party and it's the girl that's like the bro girl that's best friends with your fucking boyfriend who wants to like be all over his dick, like right in your face. Like that is that exact girl. Like they just grow up and they stay assholes. Like I don't believe when people are like, oh, like you'll change, whatever. It's like, okay, maybe they change on the outside, but on the inside, they're probably still assholes. Like they were.
Oh, and she's a nurse.
We've talked about this before.
Oh, we love our nurses. We love our nurses.
Of
However,
course, we love our nurses, but I have
sometimes nurses
DMs from people saying that nurses can sometimes be pretty mean in nursing school.
That's lots of cunts. I'm just going to go out and say lots of nurses are cunts. Sorry, not all nurses are cunts, but many nurses are cunts.
Not all nurses are cunts. Some are great saviors. Some are cunts, and that's just the way it goes. How about you guys? Who are some people that you thought were your friends and then weren't?
I feel like in high school, like if Kelly were to be in my high school, she would be this type of friend. Like, you know, the one that is just your friend. I feel like I had lots of friends that just kind of used me because I was like funny in like the entertainment and I would do like outlandish shit. So like I feel like people would just invite me or like use me as their own personal entertainment. And those aren't good friends. Like they don't want to hang out with you outside of things. Like, you know,
that's my entire shit, Brie. Like what you just said, the like being used for entertainment or whatever. I've gotten in like drunk fights with my friends who are like trying to video me, like thinking it's funny, like doing stuff. Yeah. Like there's videos of me yelling, being like, I'm not a fucking show pony, like in a joke way, but I'm kind of not joking. Or I'm like, hey, I'm not like dance for me clown. Like, what the fuck is this? But I
feel like Brie was saying you were the type to use her.
She definitely were, but you're wrong because I was the one being used. I just wanted to be friends with everybody. So I was like a
use
people
a
pleaser
different
a little
example.
bit.
I feel like Kelly would have been like the type of person to be like, do this, like it'll be so funny. But I guess she was on the other end, like
I was on the other end of it. Yeah, you would think though.
Yeah.
You would think because I do. Because now I push people to do things, so I'm not the only person doing.
Me too.
So I'll be like, yeah, fucking do it, like get after it, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like because I know that I am gonna eventually have to do something later, and now I don't want to be like the only one.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really cool to talk about high school versus like college friends. Do you guys still have friends from high school, and like how do you compare them to your college friends?
My friend situation right now, I think I've said this before, that I have a lot of different pockets of friends. Like I have like old coworkers from one job. I have a couple high school friends, a couple college friends, but my high school and college friends, I have like 3 besties from high school, 3 besties from college. And that's like pretty much it. And like we're in group texts and whatever. But outside of that, I'll hear from like fringe people. Speaking of hearing from fringe people, I don't know, Brie, if you got hit up by everybody on earth after surviving Barstool, but I had people coming out of the woodwork that I never would have fucking expected to hear from, which is
it's
ridiculous.
The worst feeling. I hate it.
But it's people like that where I'm like, hey, we don't talk every day. And I know that you're just texting because you have my number and you can. Like, I wish that like everybody before like 2009, my phone number was automatically deleted like in their phone, because I don't want you like having that. I don't want you to feel like you're suddenly my friend when I've literally never heard from you. Like you didn't call me when I was fucking depressed. Now you're going to call me because you saw me on this. Like, I'm not your fucking friend. Like, this is weird.
Fuck you. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't have any college friends. So that sounds sad, but
you dropped out.
I only went to 1 semester of college, then dropped out, didn't go to school, then did another semester, then dropped out, didn't go to school. So 2 semesters total that were separated. So not even like a full year at once. So I have like 1 friend that I met at college that I still talk to this day. We don't see each other often, but we keep in touch because she was like the first person I met there. And so we've stayed in touch. But all of my friends are my high school friends. And it's actually something that's always, not always, but since I started working at Barstool, kind of upset me, because I saw how everyone had like their college friends and it wasn't just their hometown high school friends. And then I kind of felt like a loser in some sense, because I was like, I have friends, I swear, but like I didn't go to college really. So like I didn't really make any friends there. And it seems awkward that all of my friends are just like my high school friends. But I think that's why I made so many friends when I did start working at Barstool, because I started when I was 19. So I just like, my friends from Barstool feel like my college friends in a sense, because that's basically where I went to college. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? Like that's where the last 4 years where I grew up. Yeah. So
I think that makes total sense.
Yeah. I hate when people like discredit if you're still friends with your friends from high school. They're like, well, those are like high school friends. Like, why do you still talk? Like, I hate that. Like my high school friends were my best friends since 5th grade. And like, just because they're high school friends doesn't mean you're gonna forget it. Like my high school friends are always gonna be my fucking best friends, and like college best friends for sure, but you only know them for such a short amount of time compared to high school best friends.
You know what I think is interesting too, is if you do have friendships like that, like, and I feel lucky that I do as well. I have a couple of people like that. It's nice to know that you have them, but it is hard figuring out who to like keep around after high school. And that's why I kind of think that relationships you make when you're older, like the friends that I have now, I think are like the closest to me than any of my friends like ever were. Like, and most of them are post college. Like I met in New York, or I met at a job, or like those people are like my real core everyday people that probably know me the best at this point in my life. But it's tough when you are friends with a lot of people in high school, or you have like different groups, and maybe you have like one like very close friend here that doesn't necessarily fit in with like this group. And it's hard because you do grow apart a little bit. And it's not that you don't like still love them. And it's not that you still don't like love all the time you have when you're younger, but you kind of like go off a little bit on different paths. And, you know, it just kind of, it like fizzles
grow
out
up a little.
It's sad. Yeah.
It's sad to say out loud. You grow up.
It is sad to say out loud. It makes me sad right now. It makes me sad.
Yeah. I have 2 friends that I kind of lost touch with after high school. One being my literal closest friend of my entire life. That was like my best friend from 1st grade, lived 4 houses down from me. And then we got into like a random fight. And then from there, it was just kind of weird. And we were also going to college, or at least she was going and I was going. And then all of a sudden, you know, people didn't really like not understand what was happening with me, but everyone was so happy in their colleges and whatnot that it was like me not enjoying my experiences and dropping out was kind of like not really heard of. Nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
So I felt like people kind of like wrote me off a bit, which is fine. Like I don't really blame anybody, but I actually reconnected with two of my friends this past summer that I stopped talking to after high school just because it was like weighing on my mind. I don't know why these two people kept coming up in my brain being like, I don't know, it was so weird that we just stopped talking and like I kind of want to reach out to them, but I feel weird about it. And I just did it. I reached out to both of them and they were so nice and welcoming back. And I've talked to them ever since. Now we talk pretty often.
That's a good feeling.
So it's a great feeling to like also reconnect with those people that you lose touch with, because maybe you look back and you think, wow, we really did have a really good friendship. I don't really know why
did it end? Yeah.
Why did it end? We were friends for so long. And I'm not just saying like through high school, like we were friends even before that. Like, you know, everything about me. Why did that end? And so reached out. Now we talk. Now we're friends again. And I feel like people shouldn't be so afraid to do that. I feel like people are afraid to reach out back to a friend that they think, oh, that person must hate me. That person doesn't like me. Because that's what I thought. And I reached out and they were both so happy to hear from me. And it like made their day as much as it made mine. So I feel like if you're debating that, I feel like many people
nothing to lose by reaching out.
You have nothing to lose if you think, oh, you know what? I lost touch with that person. I want to reach out to them.
Especially too, if you, like sometimes with friends like that, it's not even that you stopped being friends. You just kind of like kind of put a pause on it. And then you know that when you go back, it's like, as soon as we talk this out or as soon as we like reconnect, kind of like you said, I know that I could walk or I could go to your house, we could go to dinner and it'll be like falling right back into place. Like it's not always going to be, it's like not always going to be like a nightmare.
Yeah. Like sometimes I don't talk to my friends from home in like a really long time. I go home for a random weekend and it's like nothing changed. You're still best friends. You don't need to talk every day. Like, you know that in the back of your head, that person will always be there for you. Those are good friends to have.
For sure. For sure.
What about like big friend blowouts? Like you were, oh, well, I feel like Kelly, you told your story, right?
Yeah.
I told my like real life friend blowout.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing, like my own personal, but my favorite thing now, like as an adult, I have my group of friends that are like my older group of friends who are like, they're my adult friends. They're like 30 plus, most of them, like, you know, the whole thing. When we all get together, if we're like drinking too much or like we're partying a little too much, like we'll start fighting with each other like it's the Housewives. Like it's like kind of fun. Like it's a weird dynamic and it's not one that I had ever like been a part of because I don't like arguing with friends. I get very uncomfortable with it. I get like so upset that they're not going to talk to me. Like I get so, you know, anxious about it. So now I'm like in this group more and I'm hanging out with them all the time and these fights have come up and like I've been involved in them. I've been around them and I'm like, this is chaos. Like, what are we doing? And then the next day we're all like, oh, we were so drunk. Like, let's go to brunch and it's no big deal. And it's funny to like see like, I guess friends that you know that they're such good friends to you, but you can still like argue with them. And like, it doesn't ruin a friendship, which is nice.
I have a friend that when we fight like sisters. And you know, when you fight with like your sister, you say hurtful shit and it's mean and it's scary. Those are the scariest types of friend fights where it's like, I know you're my friend, but I just said something like you're my fucking sister and like you have to forgive me, but you don't have to forgive me. I wish I didn't just fucking say that. And then it's like stepping on eggshells. But then I feel like you're so close, it kind of goes back to normal. But sometimes I fight with my friends and I'm like, fuck, that went south and that was too fast and too much.
Don't you guys feel like sorry,
I was just gonna say, are you guys quick to apologize? Like if you're
stubborn.
in kind of a fight? Stubborn?
No, it's like
I'm pretty stubborn too.
Months. It will be like either we forget about it, pretend it never happened, or passive aggressive, like, so who's gonna say sorry first type of shit. Like, I don't want to say sorry first ever.
I'm going to blame my dad for this one because when I feel like a few years ago and when I was younger, I never used to say sorry first, like ever, because I would go to my parents for advice. And when I say parents, I mean my dad, because he's like a gossipy little mother. And he would be like, oh, don't apologize. They're wrong. You better not say shit, whatever. And he'd like hype me up and I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm right.
Let's go.
And now, I just don't think I would have done that, because when I realized me as a person and like who I am separate from my parents and like how I would act, I would probably say sorry first. There's a reason I reached out to these two people I stopped talking to years ago. Like I feel a guilty conscience often, even when I'm not wrong. It's just my brain. I get like very nervous and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this person to hate me, even though I'm so mad at them, in a sense that I feel like I haven't fought with anyone in so long for me to know if I would say sorry first. I just don't fight with my friends anymore. I used to a lot, but I can't really say
fight with my friends
in the past few years where I have like learned to be my own person, I don't fight with people. I just don't fight with my friends. I don't like it, but I will say
I hate arguing with my friends.
Bree, the point you bring up about fighting like with your sister, I actually think that's, if you're gonna fight, probably the healthiest way to go. Maybe unhealthiest, but healthiest at the same time, because there's those petty,
just being honest,
like being honest and being like, you fucking pissed me off, like you saying the meanest shit you can think of, and then you get over it and you're like, okay, well, this means we're real friends, so we can just get through that. Because then there's the little tiny fights that it's like,
or like you're like trying to jab
passive aggressive, and it never actually escalates into a real fight. Like, I'd rather go full out and get it over with, and that's what I mean by I haven't fought with my friends in a few years. I'm talking full out. Like, of course,
like
I've had
blowout
petty little exchanges here and there, but that's not reaching the level that I want to get at. You know what I mean? Like, let's just let it all out, because
if we're gonna fight, let's fight.
We'll go a few weeks, we'll go a few months. And we'll be clean.
We'll be okay. We'll be clean. It will be a new slate. My biggest downfall is being stubborn. That's like my worst personality trait. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah, I feel similarly like stubborn, but with arguing and stuff, I mostly just like don't want to waste time. Like I'm just like, hey, like whatever. Like let's we'll either talk about it or I never forget it. Yeah, it's like one or the other. Like you can't have either one. I'll bring up something, but I forget. Fuck.
I'll start a fight with Hank, who's not my friend, but my boyfriend, so kind of a friend.
Kind of a friend.
I'll start a fight with him, and then 20 minutes later, I'll be like, oh, like, it's fine. Like, let's just forget it. And he's like, I'm not really over what just happened. Like, I'm confused why you're just acting fine. And I'm like Kelly in that sense where it's like, let's just get past this. Like, why are we wasting time?
What are we doing here?
Do the whole 24-hour thing where then the next day we're fine, when we could just be fine in 20 minutes.
Right, exactly. I feel the exact same way. I remember what I was going to say. Do you guys feel like in your life you have had friends who will check you in the right ways, like help you from like being weird or being like socially stupid or like something along those lines? I feel like I've had friends like that who will not like, it's hard to describe because it is important. And I say this about other people, like if somebody, specifically girls, I think have trouble with this because sometimes girls don't get along well with other girls and they need like a girl to tell them, hey, you're acting weird, or like you're doing something that isn't like chill right now. Like you don't want to be doing this. Like you look bad. And I'm trying to be a good person, not to like make you feel like shit, but to tell you so you can like stop looking bad and like looking stupid. And I feel like that I have had friends who will tell me if I'm like going off or I'm like acting like an idiot or acting like an asshole or something, that they'll be like, listen, like love you, but stop. What are you doing? Stop. And I feel like that's so important. Do you guys feel like you've had that?
I'm that friend.
You're that friend? It's a really good friend to have. It's a really good friend to have.
I feel guilty sometimes doing it though, but I'm like, hey, come on. Like I won't say things in an embarrassing way, like take my friend aside and be like, relax a little bit. You're being a little crazy. Like, like read the room. I feel like a lot of my friends are just crazy and can't read the room and I need to help them out a little.
Read the room is a perfect way to say that.
It is very important. And Kelly, you bring up a good point because all three of us, I would say, can reach a point where somebody's got to hold us back and be like, all right, reel it in. Yeah. Okay. Reel it in.
We're all a little crazy.
Let's take it easy for a second. But then there are some people, and honestly, Fran is really good with that for me. Like,
I feel like she would be.
There are so many times where Fran's like, Rhea, let's take it easy. But there are some people that you can tell don't have many girlfriends because of the way they act. Like they're just so out there that you're like, you've never had a friend tell you that you look stupid right now.
No, it's true. And you can see it happening though. It's like if you're friends with all guys or your like primary friends are guys are not going to be honest with you like girls are. And they're like they're going to like make fun of you behind your back. Like that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And even if it's somebody that I don't necessarily like, who is like, you know, this person, when I still see it, I'm like, this girl, she needs like, somebody to throw her a bone. Like, how come nobody will tell her that everyone's literally making fun of her behind her back? Like, why is that not happening? And I feel like that, like, I don't know if that's me like being older, because I feel like when I was younger, I maybe would have participated and been like, oh my God, like, what's that? But now knowing that like you need to be checked sometimes, I feel badly because I'm like, why does nobody tell her that? Or why does nobody tell blah, blah,
why
blah?
does she have not one friend that
There's one person in every group. There's one person
there
like
always
that in
is.
every single group that they can't get close enough with the girls for some reason. Mm-hmm. But then they're also not close enough with the guys, but they think they are. And then the guys are making fun of them. And then you feel bad that the guys are making fun of them to you. But you're also like, she doesn't really want to be my friend either. So we're confused on what to do here. But I feel like that goes into the whole, when girls are like, oh no, I'm just like a guy's guy, and then it's like the hot dog gif and just fucking cocks in her face.
Yeah, for sure.
I also think like you can be friends with guys. You can have a lot of guy friends.
Sure.
I think I had both growing up. I think I had a lot of girlfriends and I think I had a lot of guy friends. And I think having both is important. They're both going to teach you things. Guys are awesome. The whole thing where it's like, oh, down with the men, like having guy friends is cool. Like it's not a bad thing.
When you have good
also,
guy
having
friends.
girlfriends is very important. Having both of those things is important. It's not like, so when somebody says, oh yeah, I get along with the guys, I don't think it should be an automatic like, that girl's like, like a pick-me girl. Like she just, of course she gets along with the guys.
I feel like they are pick-me girls when they say they only have guy friends.
Guy friends.
Yes.
But I'm saying
that's a weird thing. Yeah.
They have guy friends.
Yeah.
That's
not
fine.
pick-me. Yeah.
No. When it's like, oh yeah, I'm mostly friends with guys. Yeah, we have an issue. Like that's a red flag immediately when a girl's like, yeah, I only have like one girlfriend.
I only like
I have
friends.
mostly friends with guys.
I also will say,
how do you do that?
A flex. Yeah.
Because those guys don't see you as good of a friend. They don't.
No.
I feel like there are instances where there are girls who genuinely just like don't vibe with other girls. And I totally get that. But then I also think like, is that okay though? Like, is it cool that you only have these guy friends? Like, are you close enough with your guy friends? Well, they will tell you these things. Like, I feel like the only reason why I say it's like a girl, girl to girl or whatever is because like guys always want to fuck you. Like it doesn't matter if they're
regardless
your world. Yeah. You could be their best friend, like friend zone for life. Like there's always that underlying.
It's true.
So does that mean my boyfriend wants to fuck everybody? Because then I hate that.
Well,
you know what I
mean? Your boyfriend loves you, but your boyfriend, like if he were single, would fuck anybody.
And
like,
given the opportunity to fuck his best girlfriend, 100% is fucking. Guys will fuck.
Right.
Even my boyfriend's like, I don't have girlfriends because like guys want to fuck their best girlfriends.
Right. I can't
especially
say that
younger.
Hank has any girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like,
thank God.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be like, he wants to fuck them. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's just, and also it depends on the guy as well. Cause some guys are good at being friends with girls. Like some guys are just like, they can chat, they can like gossip, they'll joke around, but they never push the boundaries. And there's always also too, and I feel like Hank might be this real a little bit. There's always like a boyfriend in the group that can like keep up with the girl talk and keep up with like girl shit, and that you like love him. You're like, oh no, he's great. Like he comes around and like, I would call Hank my friend, but I also am not like, I don't
you are
him,
Hank's girlfriend because you are friends with me.
Because I'm friends with you.
That's
right.
How
That's
I
what I'm
like
saying.
it. That's how I like it.
I'm not Hank's friend
me.
right. And also too, like, like the groups of girls that
unless he grew up with them, that's cool.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Like if you grew up, they're in the group of friends, like that's totally different. Like, but also too, in those groups of friends like that, like I have groups of friends that include guys, and it's super incestuous. We've like all had sex with each other. And I have other friends that are like that they just all at one point or another in the like 20 years of life have at least made out with somebody.
Yeah.
So you think all your guy friends want to fuck you is what you're saying?
Yes.
I just know that
I hate thinking of it like that. I hate thinking of it like
not
that.
Not that they won't actively want
it.
to. I think it's not like they actively are like, I want to fuck. I think if presented the opportunity, they would not pass it.
If I tried to fuck, they'd fuck.
Yes. They're 100%. Not like coming on to you, but if you were like, let's go hit that.
They'd be like, oh, what's this? Or they at least entertain it. Like it's rare. I think it's rare. And also lovely if there is some guy who is like, I don't want to jeopardize our friendship. Like, no, our friendship means so much to me. But like, when's the last time you heard a guy say that?
Yeah.
Like,
and if they say that, they probably just like aren't attracted to you, and that's even more heartbreaking.
Yeah, which is like, what the fuck? Now I'm mad.
You don't want to fuck me?
I guess if my guy friends didn't want to fuck me, I'd be more offended.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's more offensive. Like,
yeah,
you're
right. You know what it is? It's a fair assessment if you say they are not actively thinking about wanting to fuck you 24/7. They're not like, I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you. But if presented the opportunity, they would. Clear. That is completely fine. Now I'm with you guys.
That's how it is.
I, for a second, was thinking like they're thinking about fucking me 24/7. Because of course I got a little conceited too fast. And so
of course. Your head got too big.
Every time Maria's talking to a guy, she's like, they want to fuck me right now.
So bad.
Right at this moment, at this exact moment, they're
thinking
trying.
about me taking my shirt off right now.
Brie, it sounds like you think this. You've got all the lingo.
Yeah, Bree's putting up the whole
secretly
scene.
in love with Rhea.
She's got a big lesbian crush on you. Yeah.
Got a big lesbo crush.
Lesbians.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. But no, you're right though.
For Elle.
Yeah, save it for Elle. Separately though, guy friends in general, I love having guy friends. I think guy friends are so fucking funny. I think that they say things and do things differently than I would with my girlfriends. Yeah, like it's just a different depending on my mood, I either like want a girls' night or I want boys around. Like it's one or the other. And I like them both equally, I would say.
Yeah. Girls' nights are essential because that's where you get all the good goss out. You know,
they're needed.
Eat a lot, drink. It's like a therapy session. And then having guys around.
We had a really good girls' night the other day, I felt. We had like a big girls' night on Friday. We had like a little sleepover.
Day. We relaxed.
Yeah. We had a girls' extravaganza. We went to dinner.
Did.
Then
we stayed up till 6 a.m. just talking about
I know. It was so fun. Which also I'm hammered.
Kelly, Brie, and I, we stayed up until like 6 in the morning.
It was late. Yeah.
It was late. And it gave us major like elementary, middle school sleepover vibes. We were talking about anything and everything. We were reading each other's notes app, which by the way, if you want to become closer with your friends, just go through their notes app, ask for permission, don't just take it.
Exactly.
Go through each other's notes app and you will learn a whole lot about each other.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, we won't even get into it, but we found out some shit about each other and we're even closer now.
We're stronger now.
That's what I'm saying. You're stronger now. You're close enough. It's like, right. It's less of a, like, I feel like your notes app is like where you hide all your like moody shit. Like that's where I do at least. So now you guys see it. And I'm like, no,
we know.
Like so exposed.
We know, Kelly.
Don't look at all my stuff. Like I can't believe it. But now you already know my shit. So it's like, oh, but they know.
It was
they already
really
know.
funny too, though. Just like when you're with your friends, go through your notes and you'll laugh your fucking asses off.
Yeah. Even if they're dark, like you laugh at like how dark
ours were depressing.
Ours were dark as fuck.
Yeah.
They were
sad,
so dark.
but it was so funny.
I had a really dark app and something in my notes app that Kelly insisted on reading out loud. And I was like, Kelly, you do not want to read that out loud. It's really dark. And Kelly goes, no, let me read it. She starts reading it. She's like, oh my God. She starts crying. She's like, this was really fucking sad. I was like, I told you it was going to be sad.
Kelly was like crying and I was crying laughter because
Brie was laughing
we all
so hard.
have these notes. Like it's like embarrassing, but at the same time, it made us feel more normal because it wasn't just one of us had the depressing notes. At least we all were on the same page with like, life kind of sucks. Let me open my notes up and write a fucking novel.
Right.
100%.
Well, I think we can end on work friends then because we're work friends in a sense, but also it's hard. Like, yes,
like
we
our
work together,
is different.
But our work is different in a sense where it doesn't, like, you guys are my friends, right? Like I wouldn't just call you guys my work friends. I'd be like, those are my, I wouldn't say, oh, my friend Brie from work or Kelly from work. I would just be like my friend Brie or my friend Kelly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think also too that like, so I have had a million jobs and every job I've like gotten a couple of friends from each job, but they were my work friends at the time. And then we would stay friends. And then and once like I would leave that job or they would leave or something, they would just become my regular friends. So it was like, oh, okay, this is normal. And like now, like 2 or 3 of them are like my best fucking friends. Like, but they used to be work friends, now real friends. And so it's kind of like,
Oh, sorry.
That was it.
Zoom is so hard to like not cut people off.
No, I know. That was literally
But
it.
work friends, I feel a lot of people need work friends, and we're kind of in a different situation because our work is literally like we talk about our whole entire lives together. But other like real work, like say you work a 9 to 5 at a desk and it's like normal jobs, people need those work friends because you can air all your shit out to those friends and they don't know who the fuck you're talking about. Like you could tell them the most deep secrets and they're like, oh, awesome. But you don't have to worry about them telling anyone because they don't fucking know who you're talking about. So I think work friends are essential for some people in like real fucking like business jobs and shit.
Oh,
so right about
absolutely.
that.
And also I feel like makes the day better. It's like you show up to work and you're like, oh, my work bestie's there, my work wife, my work husband, whatever it may be, the person you flirt with at work, whoever it is. It just like adds a little flair to your day.
I agree completely. Also, too, you want like friends at work so you can bitch about your job. Like, I feel like whatever job you have, you can have the best job in the world. You always have something that you're going to complain about. Like something's not going right. Somebody's not picking up the slack. Somebody's, taking too long to do something. Like that's always happening. And you always want to have somebody to like bitch about your boss with, or like bitch about your other coworker. It's like, and they're the only people that will understand because they're there for it and they know.
Exactly.
And as we all know, our pets are our friends too. Norman is my best fucking friend. Okay. You guys are my friends. Yeah. I got other friends. I got my high school friends, whatever it may be. But Norman is my best fucking friend. Don't forget that. Get it right. And I only treat my best friend with the best products from Scouts Honor. Scouts Honor is my go-to pet brand for grooming products that help with itch relief, odor control, and an overall healthier skin and coat. I've gotten a few products from Scouts Honor now that I use for Norman. They have probiotic grooming products that I love, and they're scientifically proven to have a natural solution for treating your pet's skin problems. When applied to the skin, the probiotics support healthy bacteria and fight against bad bacteria that cause irritation. You can choose from their amazing fragrances. I have the honeysuckle one. This is the probiotic shampoo and conditioner. I also have the detangler, which is also honeysuckle, smells great on Norman. And once again, another probiotic shampoo and conditioner. And they all have avocado oil in it, which is great. And Norman loves it. Like I said, I only treat my best friend right. Also, Scouts Honor has like a stain remover that is key. I use it all the time around my house, on my carpets, on sometimes the couch, unfortunately, because Norman, when he gets excited, when I come home, he starts peeing all over the couch. But I have my Scouts Honor stain remover that gets that out. I spray it. It's gone. I love it. With every purchase, Scouts Honor provides 1 day's worth of meals for a rescue animal in need, which is also super important. With Scouts Honor, your pet will never look, feel, or smell better. And I can attest to that because, like I said, Norman, he uses the probiotic shampoo and conditioner honeysuckle from Scouts Honor, and he loves it with a little bit of avocado oil. To receive 20% off your first order, go to scoutshonor.com/hi. Remember that's Scouts, SKOUTS with a K, at scoutshonor.com/hi for 20% off your order. Scouts Honor, natural and preventative grooming solutions for pets. Can I just take a moment to say that Hank texted me, this podcast is wild, LOL, because he's in the other room and can hear everything I'm saying. He can hear me. I mean, we live in a small New York City apartment, but he's only hearing me being like, my friends want to fuck me?
I know, I'm wondering what like my boyfriend out there is thinking. I'm like, yeah, no, given the opportunity, they would fuck. Like,
and I would too. Oops. All right. Well, I think we can move on to the second F, fears.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're listening to this, tag us everywhere on Twitter, on Instagram, at BC We Got High, because we got high.
We love seeing you guys tag us.
We love seeing you guys tag us, and we love sharing it. So we'll share every story or tweet that you tag us in, because
we literally share
thirsty hoes.
All of them. Yeah, I share them all. Like if I don't share it, it's because I didn't see it in time. Like that's the only reason. I share
exactly. I feel like guilty if I share like 10 and then I don't share the 11th. So I'm like, I have to keep going.
Yeah,
I know. So now you know.
I have so many chats like in my regular DMs of people who like will tag us multiple times, and then they'll like still say other
things. So they're like
now
in your DMs. Yeah.
I've got like friends in my DMs now because they tag us every week. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's our buds. It's not friends. It's our buds.
You're right. It's our buds.
And we're just
Our
tending
buds.
to our buds.
It's our buds.
Of course.
Do you want to, as we transition to fears, do you ladies want to hear, I'm going to have to make you not big screen for this, the definition of fear?
Yes. Let's hear it.
I feel like I like doing the definitions. I don't know why. I always bring them up, but I feel like it's fun.
It's crucial, I feel.
Okay. If you Google, why do people have fears? It says it is programmed into the nervous system and works like an instinct. From the time we're infants, we are equipped with the survival instincts necessary to respond with fear when we sense danger or feel unsafe. Fear helps protect us. It makes us alert to danger and prepares us to deal with it. So based on that definition, I feel like fear isn't something that like you should be afraid of. Like you should almost embrace it to like keep yourself safe. But I feel like I don't do that. I like hate having fears. I hate being scared of things that actually scare me.
Yeah.
I have the
really weird fears.
I have the perfect story for this to sum everything up. You know, you gotta
so ready for it.
It's almost like you have to immerse yourself into the fears, right?
Okay.
What you're saying so that you learn from it.
Yes.
It's like shock therapy. That's how I feel about fear.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I experienced shock therapy. What do you guys think I was deathly afraid of when I was younger? Like I'm talking, I would say elementary school, maybe
ridiculous.
around 8, 9
no
years
idea.
old.
Give us a category of things.
Ooh.
Yeah, let us try to guess it, but like help us a little bit.
Yeah. Because it could be so many things. People have so many fears. People are afraid of like inanimate objects.
Okay.
They're afraid of food. They're afraid of like.
Why don't I lead you there?
Okay. Lead us there.
You're in a kitchen.
Okay.
And you're sitting at the dinner table. And you have a plate. And you have a fork. And you have a knife, and you have a cup. What is missing?
A napkin?
Yes. I was deathly afraid of napkins. Now, this is no joke. I can literally call my mom right now if you guys would like me to. I can call my mom.
Napkins?
This is crazy, Rhea. You're crazy.
I was deathly... Should I call my mom just to see if she'll answer?
I think you want to call your mom for sure, but call her. Because I want to hear
because I kind of want to know.
We're pulling a Nick Trainee move right now.
Okay, then I'll call my dad instead.
Okay.
No, call your mom. Call your mom.
Call whoever you think will answer.
Hopefully my dad will answer, but he'll be with my mom.
Okay, cool.
Hey, what's up, beautiful?
Hey, I'm recording my podcast right now, so just know that you're live. Are you with mom?
Yeah.
Okay. What was I deathly afraid of when I was younger?
Napkins?
Yeah. And what did you guys do to me to get over that fear?
Did mommy stuff you full of napkins?
Yeah, they stuffed me with napkins to get rid of that fear. Thank you guys.
Right.
Love you. Bye.
Why? Can you explain your fear? Like, I want to know.
This is
what
so
was going
weird.
through your head.
Yeah.
So
start from the top.
Now, I don't know where this fear came from, but this is just a guess and what my parents guessed. I had a disease when I was younger called HSP, and it's so long, I couldn't even say the name. So if you want to know what it is, just type in HSP disease. It's like Henoch-Schwann purpura. I can't pronounce it, but basically you're like blood vessels pop all over your body. And so when I was younger,
that's scary.
It's scary. They didn't really know what it was when I was younger, and I was like 4 years old, and I couldn't walk because it had been going on for so long because the doctors couldn't figure it out. They had thought I had leukemia because it just was something that they had never seen before. And it was scary for my parents. They thought I had leukemia. Yeah. I would have night terrors. I'd wake up in the middle of the night screaming my head off. Like they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I couldn't walk. Like I said, I had bruises all over my body. There's pictures of me, videos, head to toe covered in bruises, can't walk. And eventually, because it doesn't usually last that long, but because they couldn't figure out what it was, it lasted for like a whole year. And so I was in and out of the hospital a bunch of times. And so my parents, for some reason, and I don't think this is related, but they think it is, think that I had like sensory issues because of this disease. And they thought that I didn't like the feeling of napkins, because I didn't like the feeling of napkins. It freaked me out. I couldn't touch them. I couldn't be near them. They couldn't be in the same vicinity of me. So they thought it had something to do with this disease. I'm not exactly sure. That's the guess of it. But
That's crazy.
I was so terrified of napkins. And one day I was sitting at my kitchen table and the napkin holder was just a little too close to me. So I fucking hit the thing off the table. It was glass, broke on the floor. And my parents were like, we've had enough. And they stuffed me with napkins. I was screaming and crying because I obviously didn't want to be with the napkins or near the napkins. And I eventually got over my fear of napkins because they stuffed me with them so that they could be like, see, there's nothing wrong with napkins. They're not going to hurt you. They don't feel weird. Like, this is it. You're fine. And so basically to that point of fear that you have to like throw yourself into it, it's kind of what happened with me and napkins. My parents were like, you are going to get over this fucking weird
You are
fear of
now
napkins, you
a
weirdo.
napkin.
Yeah, and now I turned into a napkin.
You are the embodiment of a napkin.
You are
That's
Mrs.
crazy.
Napkin Head. Mrs. Napkin Head.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep, that's what they call me.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's how I got over my fear of napkins.
I feel like I kind of get that though. The texture of napkins and like paper towels and stuff is like a coarse.
Don't
I
bring
feel
me
like
back into it.
that's what
Please don't
I'm
put
saying.
me
Like
back into
I'm
it.
not going to describe it because I feel like I'll put this on myself if I try hard enough. Like I understand, Rhea. That's
I
a
can't
tough
touch-
life.
I can't touch paper after I get out of the shower or after I wash my hands, and I can't touch my bare feet can't touch wood. So I kind of get where you're coming. It's not a fear, but it's a gross feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't like the texture.
Yeah,
of
it
the
like makes my
feeling.
teeth hurt.
Yeah,
For
having
sure.
to put cream on after the shower immediately
Yes.
on your hands and feet
Yes.
because it's too dry to touch anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I don't think I stress so hard about that. I have a very I think somebody later in the voicemail says something similar to this, but a fear that's like caused by something happening to you, like a traumatic thing that like makes a fear come to fruition. I'm really afraid of bees. And I feel like bees is not like and still to this day, like age 30, I like run away from bees. I'm not somebody that like screams and runs. Like I'm not dramatic about it. I just like have a heart attack in my seat, like if they're around. But when I was little, I was at my aunt's house and she had this like bench in her backyard or something. I don't know how old I was, maybe like 5 or 6. And I was walking on the bench as if it were a balance beam. Like, I don't know, I was just dicking around like as a kid and I hit my head on something and it turns out it was a hornet's nest and it fell on me and it like,
oh my God, that's so
came
scary.
out. I got stung like 50 something times. I had to go to the hospital. I was a kid, it's like fucking my girl.
That's
like,
horrifying.
yeah. So that all happens. I go to the thing, I'm fine. But then I remember coming home and being like covered for days, like covered in these bites, like having to sleep in, my parents were like making me sleep in our guest room, which was downstairs closer to their bedroom because they didn't want me upstairs because I had to like put ointment on me every few hours. Like it was fucking nuts. So I think about that. And it was like, I was old enough to remember the fear, but like young enough that I don't really remember like how much of the pain it was. But now I am like, what? I can't fucking like bees. I can't be around, but I like the idea of bees. Like I think bees are like cute and like a bumblebee is cute, but I'm just like horrified that they're going to attack me at all times. Like I'm always, if I see a bee, like a yellow jacket or like a hornet or something, I'm like, my life is over now.
That's crazy.
That
I know
just
all the kinds of bees.
First of all, Kelly, that's a reasonable fear. Bees suck.
I feel like it is. Yeah.
And I feel like
reasonable.
it's very people are highly allergic to bees. It's a reasonable thing. People say save the bees. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why?
For the flowers.
But you just said
For the
Save
honey.
the turtles. Fuck you. I want a straw.
you just
Paper
said
straws are shit.
Fuck
yellow
paper straws.
yellow jacket. This is another weird. I honestly I feel like I had a
That was
very
my
weird
college
elementary and middle
mascot.
school, and like then my high school and college, whatever, was pretty basic. But in 4th grade, we were in the bathroom, the girls' bathroom, and there was a yellow jacket, like the bee, but
Yeah.
The bee. Okay.
but the short version would be Yellow Jack, right? Like, it's a Yellow Jack.
I guess if we're
I've
abbreviating,
never heard anyone
I would
say
go, that's
that,
a yellow
but-
jack.
Okay, well, I don't know why. Whatever. That's
One
besides
more
the point.
syllable jacket.
There was-
Yeah, it's like
Yellow-
if we're like mobsters, maybe a yellow jack. Hey,
It's a yellow jacket.
Hey,
John
yo,
McClellan
yellow
is a yellow jack. Like maybe then. Okay,
There was a
keep going.
yellow jacket on the windowsill of the bathroom, and me and like two other girls saw the yellow jacket on the windowsill, and for some reason thought we had to do something about it. So I went to my teacher and I was like, there was a yellow jacket in the bathroom. She was like, then pick it up and bring it to me. So I was like, of course. So we go and we're like dying laughing, obviously being like, what a freak. She wanted us to get the yellow jacket. And so we picked up this bee and brought it to her. And she screamed. She was like, oh, I thought you meant a yellow jacket.
Oh my God.
Such a stupid story, but I'll never forget it.
Oh no, I loved it. I loved that
funny.
story. That's such a that's
That seems
like a
out
good.
of a
I feel
movie.
like I feel like a teacher will appreciate that story, being like, just get the kids coming to you, being like, oh, there's some stuff going on. It's like just figure it out.
grab it.
It's like,
Yeah.
Why would we even ask to bring what we
there
should
was a
do with
yellow
the fucking
jacket,
dead bee on the windowsill? Why would we even
Who
care? We were just
Yeah,
attention seeking.
We were
definitely
just bored.
You just thought it was the scandal of the day that you guys were
Right.
carrying a bee around the halls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree, do you have any fears?
Yeah, I have two really I have two things that I'm like really fucking afraid of. The first one, it makes sense, but it goes back to like a traumatic experience. So it's sharks, but for reason that is so fucked up and I'll never forgive my father. I was 3 years old, and you're not supposed to like remember things when you're that young because like your brain's not there. I could close my eyes and see it right now. That's how fucked up it was. My dad brought me on the Jaws ride in Universal when I was 3 years old. And that ride, it's gone now, but it was the most traumatic thing they had to shut the ride off because I was screaming so much. Like they stopped it and were like, it's fake. So I like till this day, lakes, my own pool, like if I'm just in any body of water, I'm like, someone put a shark in this water and I'm going to die. Like that's the stupid one. But there's one fear that you guys are going to look at me and be like, she is a murderer, or, she's just fucking weird. I have this fear, and it's not even a fear. I'm convinced it's real and it's happening right now. I think I'm going to be framed for murder. And I do the smallest, like after I use a knife, I wipe it off. After I take a shower, I flush my hair down the toilet because I'm convinced someone's going to like come get a knife with my fingerprints on it, get my hair, put it at a crime scene. Like this,
Bitch,
like
you're guilty.
see, that's what I'm saying. You
Did
guys
you
are
kill
gonna think
somebody,
I'm
Bree?
actually a
Like, what the
murderer.
If
That's
you
what
need
I'm
our help,
saying.
we'll help you.
Yeah, just tell us. Tell us to cut the recording and we'll help your ass.
No, I am so convinced someone has it out for me so bad that I'm going to be framed for murder because I've seen it. I've watched all the shows and I'm like, imagine going to jail for your whole life and you're like, I'm innocent and no one fucking believes you. I'm getting scared thinking about it. That's my biggest
Bree,
fear.
I don't think
That's my
they're
biggest
putting
fear.
people like you in jail
They
for
would if they
framing for
framed me.
murder.
Someone's
What?
going to frame me
That's
for murder.
true.
Did you
Wait,
do something when you were younger that's like eating you alive?
No, I just think I've seen so many shows where it's like proven innocent after 45 years, like framed for.
So
and
true.
It freaks me the fuck out. I'm like, what if I fucked someone over so bad and they're like crazy, they're gonna frame me for murder or something? That's my biggest fear.
I feel that way too. I feel like I sometimes things will happen or I'll do something that's like not so crazy or like I'm embarrassed by it or something. It'll haunt me like for the rest of my days. Like I'm like, this will eventually come out and like ruin my career in some way or another. But kind of going off of what you said, I don't know if you guys ever watched the John Mulaney like lunchtime bunch like sing along thing he did with kids. It was actually so funny, and he would like interview them and ask them real questions. Like he would talk to them like adults. And
yes.
And one of the questions he would ask all the kids, like, what are some of your fears? And so I think there was like 10 kids or so. I think like half of them, maybe like 4 or 5 at least, all said doppelgangers were like their biggest fears. And I was like, what an interesting thing. But I guess when you're younger, like all that's been instilled in you is like identity theft and like online, like deep fakes, like doctored photographs and things like that. Like, I guess stuff that I never thought about as a kid. I never worried about somebody stealing my identity when I was younger, but now it's like everybody worries about that every single day. So kids are worried about people like that look like them and act like them that can be mistaken for them, I would assume, in situations like murder.
That's crazy.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
I've never heard of something like that.
So weird, right? And remember too, I don't know if you guys even remember this, when the word like doppelganger came onto the scene. Like I swear to God, I had no idea what it was. And then the next day, that's all anybody was talking about was doppelgangers. And it was like,
they made a website to find your doppelganger or something.
Who's your person, whatever. And
findyourdoppelganger.com.
Yes, literally. And I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, interesting. And I never thought about it again. But apparently it just made this gigantic fear in all these children who were like max 8. Crazy. I think they were like between ages of like 8 and 12, these kids. It was crazy.
That's crazy. Fears are a weird thing, man.
That's really interesting to think about, that these kids are so proactively thinking about if there's a doppelganger of them. Because like you said, I don't think I ever thought of anybody looking like me when I was younger. It only hit me recently that there's people out there that look like me. I was like, oh, okay. Hey, Bree. Like,
I know.
Right. You guys are the same fucking person.
We're doppelgangers.
Yeah.
I just never thought of that until recent years, which is weird that now these kids, that's what they grow up thinking about.
Do you think it has anything to do like with social media, that we just have access to seeing more people? Like, I mean, I'm sure there were twins like the whole time, but when I was younger, I wasn't, on Instagram getting tagged in photos that look like me. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely what it is, because you're only surrounded by the people you go to school with when you're younger, you're in school, or your family. So nobody's probably going to look exactly like you. But on social media, there are so many, you see every face in the world, TV, whatever it is. And so then you, like you said, people tag you to say, oh, this person looks like you, whatever it may be. Also
too, facial recognition shit. Like I look on my phone and my phone, like if you look into your camera roll or whatever, it'll be like, it says like places, people. And it's like a people, I pull it up and I can find it. It's like pictures of Rhea. Like it'll be like Rhea, 25 photos. And I'm like, how?
So
like,
weird.
And it's like, how do you know this? Like going through my whole camera roll. And it's a weird thing. But that John Mulaney thing where he talks to the kids, that's really interesting if people are interested in that. Like I never am around kids like that, like in that age. And so it's funny to see what they think of the world. Like it's so different than how I grew up.
How are you guys?
Sorry. Are you guys nervous about the government listening in on your phone?
That was literally what I was just going to say. I was going to say another fear of mine is just the government in general.
Yeah. I feel like I'm afraid of the government in a general sense, being like they know everything about me, but I also am not. I'm of the opinion that like they have better things to do. Like there's no way that they are worried about what I'm doing. But I do worry that like what if one day there is a reason to like look into my shit, and then I'm like, well, you've seen all my text messages, you've seen all my stuff. Like that is the moment that I like dread or like think about, but I don't think about it and like prevent anything of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't do anything about it.
Right. And I feel like it's one, hey, they have more important stuff to do. And also they've been spying on us this entire time.
Right.
Like there's not a new device. Like when people were freaking out about TikTok, I was like, they can see everything of yours anyway, right?
Your phone opens up to your face.
Like they know everything about you anyway. TikTok's just taking the most advantage of it, but they all have the same information. So I feel like it's really not something to like proactively think about.
Yeah. I'm more scared of like what the government is hiding than like more of what they're taking from us. Like that's my fear. It's like the government knows so much more than us. And it's like a scary thought to know that we're just like kind of the idiots that don't know anything.
Somebody DM'd me some shit. I don't know where it is or where I saw it, but they told me how like the government has to surrender all extraterrestrial information before like summer 2021. Did you guys see that DM somewhere too? Like I don't know where I saw it, but it was like somebody was reaching that out, and I didn't look into it, but it's kind of a throwback to our last episode and like the government knowing shit or whatever. And like aliens, like no shit, they definitely know about aliens, but apparently like things are getting exposed and whatever. So I wonder what that's all about. But I was reading this article the other day about Facebook and Apple. And I guess that Apple is doing this, has some update coming out. Like people are wanting you to read through the terms and conditions because it like gives them a lot of access to your stuff. And it's like, you got to start paying attention to that shit. That's what they say. I never will because I'm too lazy, but whatever.
That's a lot to read.
It's just a lot. But as far as Facebook, people are concerned that Facebook is like, no, we're not spying. We're not spying. But what they're doing is not spying. It's like they pick up on your habits. And this is, I feel like I kind of do this as a person. Like I like will study other people and like I'll be perceptive, but Facebook is like the ultimate perceptive person. And so they know all your shit. So they're worried about that Facebook's going to use it to like manipulate what you see and what you want and your interests. And there was that weird like shit on Netflix like 6 months ago. Yeah. Where it kind of said the same thing. And I was like, oh, that is interesting because they can kind of like, they can suggest like a shirt to you. And it's like, it's not that you once looked at that shirt and they're hearing you. They just like know based on all the shit that you do, what you will probably like based on like what other people like. And they just serve it to you. So it feels like they're listening, but actually they just like know you that well. And that's where the concern lies. It's like, are you supposed to know us that well? Like, are you supposed to like, you know, guide me towards this pair of fluffy loafers that I definitely will love. But you know what I mean? It's like, can you do that or can you not? And that's the big,
right? I love
thank
you.
I love it.
Actually,
yeah.
Thank you for targeting me.
Thank you. I was
I'm all for the targeting. I'm all for the targeting because I don't really have shit to like hide, you know? Like I'm like, what? Who's gonna? It makes my life easier. So who really cares? But I guess you know, in the grand scheme of things, I like to be like a little off the grid, I guess, or I like to pretend like I am.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about scary movies? Speaking of fear, I feel like
I love them.
Some people, Kelly, you love them. Brie, how about you?
I hate them because none of them are good. Like they're like Midsummer. I like thrillers or like psychological fucked up movies, but like the actual horror and like scary gory movies never have good actors. The plot always like sucks and they're just bad films, like, and they're not scary. I don't know. I like the more of the thriller shit that fucks up your mind and makes you think about it for 3 days. That's scary to me.
Yeah. Thrillers are great. Psychological thrillers, I think, are actually good movies. But the horror section is terrible. When I was younger, I loved them. And now I'm deathly afraid of them. I don't know what happened in my life where when I was younger, I wasn't afraid of anything. Never like slept in my parents' bed with them because I was scared. I didn't care about any of that shit. Now I can't like do... Being alone in my apartment scares me like that. Really? Just that alone, not even like playing a scary movie on my TV, just like being alone in general scares me.
I feel like
someone's going to pop out and kill me. I don't know.
I think
about like scary movies. Yeah. Also too being murdered, but about the scary movie thing,
really touchy subject for me, murder.
Yeah,
think
because
about
you committed one and somebody's going to
trying to hide it.
Right. Because you have to hide your murder. I think about scary movies and stuff as kind of like Rio with the napkins is like shock therapy. Like I'm with you, Brie, where I don't love like gory movies. Like I'm not down for like sawing off limbs and shit. Like that's just kind of like, oh, gross. But I love a spooky situation, like jump outs, like that kind of shit. Psychological thriller, of course, love, obsessed. Those are like my all-time favorites. But like over like right before Halloween, I was like, it was still quarantine and we were like, I mean, it still is, but you know, whatever. It was like everybody was home, nobody was doing shit. So I was really watching a lot of TV and I had watched the Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
So fucking good. But they were, Hill House I thought was pretty scary. I was like, I'm shocked by how like scary this actually is, but in a great way. But I love watching scary movies if you're like with a guy. That's the best. Like it's just like no, you know, it's like a girl thing.
Hold
you
me.
Like, yeah, hold me. Ooh. And especially for me too, I'm like, I'm not scared at all. Like I'm just like, oh no, oh, quit it.
See, mine's opposite. My boyfriend's the scared one, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
That's actually really funny. Yeah. But no, it's like it's the more you watch it, I almost like pick it apart. Like I think that's like a thing that I did with my parents growing up. Like if I watched a scary movie with my mom, my dad would always be like, oh, come on. Like I can see the wires in the background. Like, you know, we'd always kind of make fun of it. So I think that now when I watch it, I think of that. I think more like practically than I do like, I'm actually so scared.
Yeah. I wish they would put more money and time into scary movies and make good ones. Because
if they had Leonardo DiCaprio in a scary movie, I'm watching it.
I guess like from Shutter Island.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, Shutter Island was
Yeah.
Shutter Island's so good. Yeah. What are your guys like if you were to pick a favorite scary movie or like a scary movie that you know and you think about as like a scary fucking movie? Like do you have one in your mind?
Paranormal Activity.
Oh, that scares you?
That's a good one though.
Mine was
people freaked the fuck out over that movie. People like when that movie came out. people didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Freaked the fuck out. When I was younger, mine was Halloween. Michael Myers used to scare the shit out of me when I was little.
That is really scary. My one when I was younger was Jeepers Creepers. I was really scared of that movie because it was like the guy on the it's old. It's like it was old when I was young, so it's like definitely really old now. But it's like this guy who, I don't know, he just like collects all these people and then he like sews them all together. It's so fucked up. Like it's a really fucked up movie and it's like scary and he's always creeping around. And I suggest watching it, but as like a movie that I still have not watched as an adult because it scared me too much when I was younger was The Ring. The Ring, I watched it like right when it came
I was little, yes.
Scared the fuck out of me. I still haven't watched it.
That scared the shit out of me.
So scary.
What movie scared me so much but wasn't actually scary? Scary Movie 3 with the girl from The Ring. They do like a parody of it.
Yep.
And also Michael Jackson. I was terrified of Michael Jackson.
Still scared of him. He's still
terrified
alive.
of Michael Jackson growing up because of the Scary Movie 3. His little cameo, he pops up. It's so fucking freaky. And
his nose pops off. He's like, hee hee, and the nose pops off. And it's like, it is. You know who fucking hates that, Rhea? My brother. And I feel like I gotta call him and talk to him. I'm pretty sure he hates that too.
No, it's so scary. And what is his like grounds called again?
Neverland.
Neverland. And that's in California, right?
Yeah, where
I think so. I'm honestly not sure. I've never once thought about where it could be.
Either way, I used to tell my parents that we can never go to the Netherlands because Michael Jackson was there because I would confuse the two. And while we're on this subject of random things freaking you out, which I think Michael Jackson I think that's fair game to be afraid of. Like, I think he scared a lot of people and my brother was terrified of him. So he made me even more scared of him. And he would like purposely show me scary videos of him to make us both really scared.
Rude.
Is there anything that scares you so much that is not scary at all? Like, I'm not talking Michael Jackson, who's like could go both ways and scary or not scary. Something that is so not scary, but gives you that fear. I got one.
I don't know if I...
in That's So Raven. Paula Abdul in the episode of That's So Raven, when she's the talent scout and she's dressed as the janitor, in the show at the end of the episode, she does a spooky little dance and it has scared me to this day. I can show you the video straight up. I'm going to find it right now. Paula Abdul.
I know it because I know exactly what you're talking about. Where she comes back in, she's like, I heard people want to be a superstar. And she like comes in and it's fucking weird. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because it's like, it's such a weird... I remember that when it aired live. Like, I remember watching it live, like with my dad, because I was like, Dad, Paula Abdul is going to be on this episode. Like, it's crazy. And then it was that weird shit. And we were all like, what the fuck was that?
Paula Abdul is a household name.
I have chills down my spine right now. That's how much that scares me. Like, do you guys have anything like that?
I was like, while you're finding that, no, but I realize a fear that I don't know how I didn't say it. Because I must just like put it so far back in my mind because I'm so fucking afraid of it. Cockroaches. I am so fucking afraid of them. I feel like that's even though they're not even that big. Like they can't hurt you. They're not even that big. I mean, they are big. They're like an inch long sometimes, maybe 2. But they're not going to do anything to you. They're just gross, and you just have to kill them and get them out of your house. If I see a cockroach, it's like every sense I have is heightened. I want to die.
I'm just scared of like bodies of water.
I feel like those are like normal fears though. Like
they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm trying to think of a weird one.
I'm really trying to think.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like if I have one, it will be offensive and I can't say it.
Yeah. Also
I found it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like afraid of like
of what to say.
Hold on. I gotta switching my. Okay. Wait. All right. Making the volume up. It gives me shivers down my spine. Like I'm already freaking out thinking about it.
Excuse me. Are there any kids around here who could sing or dance or want to be a superstar?
Sorry. I'm not singing for no more janitors.
guess I'll have better luck at Jefferson.
That's like her thing. That's like her fly girl dance. Like that's like her infamous
I didn't like it, yeah.
thing. Yeah. No, but that's like you would have lost your shit in the 80s. You would have hated it. If you were like a teenager in 1985, you would have hated it.
I don't think it was the mustache mixed with the janitor mixed with the dancing. Like the whole thing creeped me out. It was I have
did
literally
look like
the
a
feeling I
creepy-
got when I was scared of napkins over my body again.
She literally did though. You're right with the mustache and like all. It's like in the disguise and like that kind of shit. It's like I don't know about like why you got to scare us like this, Paul. Like why you got to? I trusted you and now I don't trust you anymore. You're like wearing a disguise. You're like kind of creeping around the hallways, stopping people in the hallway, being like, "Want to be a superstar?" Like you seem like a weird pervert in a van, Paula.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I feel like that's a good segue to move into fetishes because a lot of people's fetishes are like dressing up like that and like doing creepy things, like creepy.
100%.
I don't know.
Okay, yes, let's get into fetishes. But before we do that, I need to tell you guys about one more fear that I have. And it's honestly the fear that I am riddled with cavities. I feel like my regular toothbrush is not doing it for me anymore. And I'm so afraid to go to the dentist. And I know now that I won't be so afraid to go to the dentist anymore because I have myself a brush, which my brush, by the way, is this like black svelte situation. How cute. Like I've never thought about my toothbrush being cute or being like good looking. And here it is. So I'm loving it. It's fabulous. I just really am feeling like I need to have cleaner teeth. I feel like my regular toothbrushes are just not cutting it anymore. I'm really sick of it. So thankfully I have this brush. It has 6 different settings, which is unbelievable. There are different modes to customize your brushing experience. There's also a 4-week battery life. 4 weeks. You put it on this cute little charging thing and it's literally charged for 4 weeks. It's a month of brushing your teeth. That's absurd. It's every day, 30 days, sometimes 31, depends, leap year or whatever. And like I said, look how amazing it looks. It's unbelievable. I'm so happy to have it now. I really feel good about my situation. I think that with the subscription service, which will help me to have new brush heads as soon as I need them, that's going to save my life. So I'm really, really happy about it. I'm thrilled to have it. And if you need your own, you should. You can have 50% off your Brush toothbrush kit and refill plan when you use promo code HIGH at Brush.com. That is 15% off using promo code HIGH at BRUUSH.com.
Would you ladies like to hear the 8 common sexual fetishes?
Yeah, give it to us.
I love looking this up. So let's see. Some of the top fetishes that couples seem to possess. These are kind of weird, I think. Body piercing, like piercing each other. Latex fetish, a fetish of having sex with a sex worker. So I have a fetish with having sex with like call girls, I guess. I don't know. Oh. Yeah. Voyeurism and display. That's a pretty standard one. Fetish for body parts. So like feet, etc. Braids and ponytails. That's like a sub-dom thing, I think. Like based on my knowledge of reading the books, the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, that's basically how I know that. And then unusual outfits to enhance sex. So I guess like role play with outfits, and also group sex. Those are like the most common fetishes. And I will also tell you, ladies, that I reached out to a gentleman that I know that very much has fetishes and goes on fetish porn websites. And for those looking for the best fetish porn, it is kink.com is where you go.
Well, thank you for enlightening us.
You're welcome.
I think we should start off by talking about foot fetishes first, because I feel like that's the one that people just can't wrap their brains around, but it happens. I think, I don't know anybody personally.
I have a story.
You did? Okay, good. Because I was going to say, I've never personally encountered it, but I've seen it on TV. But I want to know somebody who has actually encountered somebody with a foot fetish. Somebody listening to this probably has a foot fetish. So no judgment, but I just want to understand where they're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and my friend, we went to get like these matching tattoos on our finger. This was, I think, 2 years ago, and it was summer, so we had flip-flops on, and we go to this like sketchy tattoo parlor in like this like rundown town near me, like the only place that was open that would take us. And we go in, this guy is super creepy. He has pictures of feet, like feet tattoos. That was the only pictures that he had of his work, was the feet tattoos all over the wall. So at first I
Interesting.
was like, is he even going to tattoo our hands? Like, does he only do feet? This is weird. Whatever. So he was like, yeah, I'll do your hands. And he's not looking us in the eyes. He's only looking at our feet. So we were like, oh, this is fucking crazy. Like, he has a foot fetish. And like, I was getting uncomfortable, so I just like straight up was like, "Do you have a foot fetish?" And he was like, "Yeah," because literally like everything in the room was
Naturally.
feet. He was looking at our feet. I was like, "Oh, I don't. This is cool. Like, I want to talk about it." I was like, "Do you have a foot fetish?" He was like, "Yes, I do." And then he pulls out a picture, like a picture book, and it's just pictures of all of his clients' feet, no tattoos. And he was like, "Do you guys want to be in the book?" And we were like, no. And he was talking to my roommate. Apparently, I don't have great feet, but she had very great feet. And he knocked $40 off of her tattoo if she let him put her foot in the picture book. And he was like, we were like, is it a sexual thing? Like, we were just really getting into it with him. We were just like shooting shit. And we were like, is it a sexual thing, or is it just like you like how they look? And he was like, no, like I can't have sex unless there's like feet involved, or unless like a foot is touching me. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, it's like really like they really love feet when they have
The
foot
real
fetishes.
fetish. It's
That's
a real
so
fetish.
interesting.
Yes,
That's
so interesting.
Crazy.
I have one experience it's not as intense as that, but I didn't even realize it was like a foot fetish thing until I like thought about it later. I was commuting from my parents' house in New Jersey to the city to like go meet up with my friends or something before I lived here. And I wasn't so familiar with the trains yet. Like, I was young. And I was waiting at Newark Penn Station, which is like where you have to switch before you can cross right over into New York. And the Amtrak train goes through there as well as New York. And it coasted on the same platform as like the local train. So I was waiting for the local train to bring me over because Amtrak is like costs more money. It's like a whole thing. And the Amtrak train came, and I went to like go get on it, but I was confused because I wasn't sure, like, is that the right one? And so to the conductor who was like standing outside, I was like, hey, I'm trying to go to New York. Is this the right train, or do I have to wait for the next one? And the guy he looked at me, looked down at my feet, and then goes, I'll let you on just because your nail polish matches your toes. And because my nail polish and my toenail polish matched. And I was
That's
like,
a fetish.
okay. And then he like let me on the train. And like, so I rode the train to New York for free, like the last like stop or two to New York for free. But I didn't think about it until later, because I was like, my nail polish and my toenail polish does match. And I thought he was like making fun of me for like being a girly girl or something, but nope, he's definitely just looking at my feet.
He likes that.
Isn't that interesting?
Weird,
we
right?
think we gotta have our titties popping or our booty looking nice, but really we just gotta have a matching
those
pedicure
feet.
and manicure and have
Just
our
a
feet
matching
looking
mani
good.
pedi.
Because I'll tell
It's
you,
crazy to think
the
about.
people begging me for feet pics wouldn't like my feet. They're ugly,
Neither.
and I don't really have good pedicures often. Only in the summer. I don't really think about it much. I'm not
I have
somebody
like
who like
athletic, gross-looking feet, like that. Like I ran a mile to get here.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, and the bottom of my feet are like
You have, like,
flaky
snarly
right now.
toes.
They're
Yeah.
dry.
I have a wart on the bottom of my foot from diving in college, and I have not gotten it removed. So I don't think
There it
anyone
is.
would enjoy my feet
Yeah.
pics.
My toes, my feet are actually not bad, but I have long toes. That's the only thing, because I have long fingers also, but like my
Yeah.
toes are also long, but not
People
like
are
that bad, I
getting
guess.
horny right now listening to us.
Yeah,
They're definitely
should we
getting more
show? Should we show our feet? Imagine.
No,
Should
not
we
for
show
free.
Not for
Brie, what are you
free.
talking about?
Oh,
For
no.
free? Not
No,
in this
no.
house.
I think
I have
at this
socks
point
on.
I would show my boobs before I show my feet.
100%.
Okay, fair. Yeah, everyone has
100%.
boobs.
Everyone's got
Everyone's
boobs, but who has nice feet?
That's true. That's true. Boobs are
It's
boobs.
crazy.
Feet are important.
What other fetishes out there do you guys know about? Because I gotta be honest, I have never encountered somebody with a fetish, or if I have, they haven't told me about it, which I almost find offensive.
Would you like to hear the top categories on kink.com?
Yes.
Sure.
100% need to.
So
know
they
these.
are, some of them are normal, some of them are funny. There's anal, BDSM, bondage, domination, humiliation, lesbian, role play, strap-on, submission, and also corporal punishment, which I think those are like the top ones. And I think that corporal, I was looking at corporal punishment because I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, if you go to this website, it's like they have
I'm gonna go on right now.
whatever it's called, rope around your boobs. Like this is
it's like a whole thing.
hardcore website. Yeah, it's hardcore. But the corporal punishment thing is exactly that, where they like wrap the rope around your boobs and like they like fist you and like really, really intense stuff. But it's always in some kind of like warehouse situation, like dungeon looking spot. Like the porn for it is nuts. And so I feel like people probably get afraid by fetishes because when they think fetish, they think this shit. They think corporal punishment.
What is it?
Kink.com fetish.
Kink.com?
I'm on kink.com right now,
Kink.
and the opening looks like a Party City ad.
Yeah, it does. And like, are you old enough? Or like, girls got, what does it say? It's like
It was
straight,
like
gay,
straight or
show me
gay.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh my God.
It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a wild website. If you haven't seen, like I have, maybe
oh my
seen
God, this guy's
porn once or twice
licking a
before.
fucking toilet bowl for humiliation.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. See, the thing is,
punishment.
I wouldn't think of those as fetishes. I thought that's just like what I guess that is a fetish, right? I guess anal is a fetish, BDSM fetishes. I just thought those were like types of sex. When people say fetish, I'm thinking
normal
like,
shit.
Yeah, no, like I'm thinking like the feet or ears or like specific body parts or like dressing up like furry, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
I guess I never thought of like anal being a fetish, but I guess it is a fetish.
Yeah, people go nuts.
It is, yeah.
And that's probably, I would say, one of the like more tame ones, but it's like there's this, strap-on version like that. There's a lot of shit. The
corporal punishment shit was kind of crazy. I saw like a man dressed as like a horse and like walking around like that.
There's this one, it's CBT. I don't even know what it stands for, but the picture, oh my God, I don't even know how to describe this. If you go to the categories and you
everyone
go, like,
listening,
all,
go on kink.com.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta look. You go to categories, you go show all, and there's
You're not
CBT.
at work.
Yeah, don't do this at work or public.
Listen. It's a guy's hard dick, right? It's fully hard. And on top, it's like there are chopsticks, like smushing it on top, in the middle, and on the balls. And they're like roped around. It's crazy. And then there's right below it, there's something called electrical play. And this guy's just getting shocked in the dick. Just electric shock, like with your taser, Rhea. Just electric shock in the dick.
Oh my gosh. See, people are pain kink. People are into
it's
pain
all
kink.
pain. It's like pain
yeah.
and
would you
and
guys
all that kind of shit.
Consider like choking a fetish? Because I don't really think, I feel like choking is like normalized now. It's kind of like,
I feel like
it is normalized now. Yeah.
Yes, but it definitely is. Like, because some people freak the fuck out. Like, it depends on who I'm around. If I'm like, choke me to death, but like sometimes guys don't like that because they think like, they're like, oh no, like I don't want to like hurt you. They get very afraid, and those guys are whatever. But the guys who aren't afraid, it's like, okay, well, this is.
Well, I don't want to be like,
I'm not asking you to murder me.
Yeah,
like, I'm just asking you to just
a little pressure. Yeah,
like find
kill
the happy
me.
medium.
Don't put me in a chokehold. That's different.
right.
Don't make me tap out. Like I'm not.
Imagine
you're
having
sex
wrestling
right
and
now.
he puts you in a chokehold and you have to tap out.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's too much.
1, 2,
Tapping on is
3.
too much. That's like too. What's his fucking face? I think it's David Carradine, or maybe is that Lizzie McGuire's dad? Lizzie McGuire's dad's brother, I believe, is David Carradine, or whatever his other name is. He died from autoerotic asphyxiation. So he was hanging himself, like trying to jerk off, just like choke himself, but accidentally killed himself. No shit, really?
Yes, he was doing that, and he hung himself on accident.
Yeah, it's autoerotic asphyxiation is what it's
people
called.
People like so horny
feel
that
better
they
when
kill
you
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lightheaded. It's like they try to, you get to that point. Well, the same thing as choking. It's like you're lightheaded, and so it's supposed to like make it feel better, and you're more like in your own head thinking about just your orgasm, nothing else. But you can also like pass out. It's very dangerous. Like
and if you're doing it alone, then you will die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy.
It happens way more than you think. It's always fucking. It's like always like a business guy like trying to get himself off with his own tie who like kills himself accidentally. It's like a ridiculous.
Yeah. Wait, are fetishes like fetishes don't have to be weird and sexual, right? Or do they have to?
No. Or well, I feel like,
well, that's what I'm learning from this.
I think I feel like maybe a little bit.
Like, do you think we have fetishes of like just random shit?
Or
does it
that's
have
what
to
I'm
be like
thinking,
sex
like
related?
Like,
have we not looked up the definition of fetish?
I think we need to look. What the hell, Kelly? Come on.
I'm sleeping at the fucking switch here. What the hell?
Well, that's why I was confused about
Fetish.
all of those things being listed as fetishes, because when I think fetish, I think something like strange, like a foot fetish is not like so something that's particular like that, whereas like anal is like a type of sex.
Yeah.
Here is the thing. It's fetishism. A fetish is an object believed to have supernatural powers, or in particular, a human-made object that has power over others. Essentially, fetishism is the attribution of inherent value or no, that doesn't actually make sense. Hold on. There's a better one that a strong and unusual need or desire for something, a need or desire for an object, body part, or activity for sexual excitement, an object that is believed to have magical powers. It's like, I guess has a couple,
So it is
the magical
sexual.
powers thing. I don't know about all that, but
it's definitely a sexual thing, but it's almost like that's the only thing that could get you off. Like for us, we can, or I don't know, you guys can have a fetish, but for me, it's like, I just like to have sex, different, different positions, different kinds of sex, whatever it may be. But there's not something that I need in the sex that will make me orgasm. You know what I mean?
Don't
like
need
it's not like
anal, or
I
you don't
absolutely
need your toes
need
sucked.
this dog bone shoved up my ass, or I'm not gonna come. Like that's not how it goes. Like I
don't have one.
Let's just have some sex for me.
Do you think that people develop, they'll develop like, they think it's a fetish, but maybe it becomes actually more of like a habit. Like it's kind of like that. Like, oh, I have a fetish for this dog bone up my ass. But it's like, no, maybe you just did it a few times and now you think that you need it. Yeah. Like, I don't think you now have a fetish for dog things up your ass. Maybe you just like want anal. Like you could just like get fucked in your ass, I think is what you want. Yeah. Like that's not, I feel like some people
that probably happens.
I think when you have a fetish.
Yeah.
You're in public, you see a foot, boom, boner.
Yeah.
Foot fetish.
Right.
It's tough. I don't get it. I just don't get what is so hot about a foot. What is so hot about a foot?
You wouldn't know.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't know.
I want to be in the mind of a foot fetisher, and I want to feel what they feel, and I want to experience it, because if I don't, I just think you're weird. I don't get it. I don't get foot fetish.
Well, did we have any foot fetishers call in?
I wish.
Actually, foot. I think foot. Yes, I'm trying to think. There was a couple two fetishes, maybe 2 or 3 fetishes. I don't know if foot. There were a lot of people talking about foot fetishes. I don't know if an actual foot fetish person called in. That I don't think. I've
never come across a female foot fetisher.
Neither have I.
It's always guys. I wonder if girls.
But I wonder what I'm thinking about this now is I'm wondering if it's like it's the same thing as like attraction. Like I think that guy is hot, but like maybe Breed, you don't think he's hot. Like is it that same thing? It's like, I think feet are hot, but like you don't think that they're hot. Like maybe that's how it like goes. It's like that simple. Like I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe we overthink it.
I don't think fetishes are simple.
You don't think it's simple?
No, like
I don't think
maybe to people who have fetishes, they are. Like it's like, oh, duh, like, this is a part of me. Like whatever. All right. And speaking of that, I think it's time, ladies, before we exhaust everything that we have to say, that we start listening to our listeners. And they have almost too many stories to choose from today. I chose a bunch for us today. We're going to plow through them until we can't anymore. You guys got to stop me because there's just a million. People are so fucking funny and they have so many good stories. So let's get into them.
All right. Before we get into voicemails, I feel like we talked a lot and it made me very hungry, and it made me think about HelloFresh, which is America's #1 meal kit. It is the best meal kit ever. I've been using it for a really long time. The best thing about HelloFresh is that it's delivered straight to your door. Okay. The portions are great. It takes like 20 minutes to cook. Like it's not this big fiasco. It's so easy to cook, and the food is actually so good. I've been using HelloFresh since back when I was in college. I am now a dropout, but it came in handy very well in college. I would cook it every night for me and my roommates. We would split it. It was great. What was my favorite? I think it was like breaded chicken tacos, and it came with veggies. Like you can pick if you want healthy meals, you can pick if you want like family good meals, and you can pick the portions and whatever you want. Like it's amazing. And it saves you so much time from going to the grocery store, something that I absolutely hate. Like I dread going to the grocery store because I have like social anxiety and I just don't want to do that. So that's why I love HelloFresh. And you guys can go to HelloFresh.com/10because and use code 10because for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Okay. That's HelloFresh.com/10because and use code 10because for 10 free meals, including free shipping. It's amazing. The food is so good. It's really tasty. I swear it is so good and easy to make. If you're an idiot and you think you're bad at cooking, I swear HelloFresh will treat you right.
All right, ladies, let's get into these calls. We have a lot of calls today. We'll get through as many as we want to. I'm going to throw it to you guys first. Would you rather hear little people fetish or ugly baby?
Little people. I feel like we already did ugly baby, right?
Ugly baby is a fear. It's fear-based, but little people fetish we'll play first.
Fetishes, fantasies, same thing. Little people. I have this freaky obsession with little people. No one really knows about it. If there was a little people convention in the Boston area, I would definitely be there, but that's definitely frowned upon for average-sized people. But it is a fantasy to fuck a midget. I'm sorry, a little person, Jesus. We don't use midget, little people. But yeah, it's a fantasy. Do they have a hammer cock? Do they have a friggin' Skittle-sized penis? Is it small? Is it large? They're sometimes sexy with average heads. They sometimes have different big heads. They're all different, but it's a super fantasy to fuck a little person. My boyfriend would kill me, would end me, but it's out there. My friends don't even know it. They fake friends, real friends, who knows? Am I just a frickin' freak? I don't know. Do you want to have sex with a little person? Are you curious about their Frankfurter or their fruit snack? Curious.
So, okay. First, let me preface by saying half of this voicemail is like inappropriate. I let it play because this bitch called in and said all that shit. So she clearly
told
is
us
fine with
her secret. Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine with being the person who said all that stuff. I gave her that platform, you know? It's like you got something in your heart, and you have to get it out. And this girl is trying to go to a little people convention in Boston as soon as she can.
I don't hate it. I'm also curious to know if they have big weenies.
Yeah, what's the penis?
Big peepees.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only logical explanation here is for this girl to go do that and then let us know. Like, you're asking us all these questions that we don't know the answer to.
Yeah. I don't think you're weird for wanting to do that.
No, I don't think that's weird.
No.
I think that you should pursue it, though.
I think you should definitely pursue it. I think you should definitely let us know. It's also something that I don't think I've ever really thought about. So now I'm like, oh, cool.
I'm curious.
Okay. Let's go to a... let's do we'll do ugly baby for some fear.
Hi guys. My name is Morgan. I'm from California. Calling was a fear in itself. It rang and I kind of freaked out that I was calling somebody I didn't know, but super happy it ended up being the podcast. Anyways, love you guys. Listen every week and I laugh the entire time. So amazing. But this call is about the fears, and I personally have a major irrational fear of having an ugly child. I know that sounds really vain and mean, but I am terrified of having a child that is ugly and I'm really sorry to say it, but a ginger. You really don't want a ginger kid. They're pale and like kind of scary, and I know there's a lot of hate towards them, and I have redhead friends, but I don't want a redhead. Anyways, huge irrational fear of having an ugly kid. I'm not an ugly person, I wouldn't say, hopefully, and neither is my boyfriend, but, you know, two rights sometimes can make a wrong, and that's terrifying. And I'm wondering if anyone else has that fear as much as I do, or if they even think about it when they have a kid. Like, do you think, like, ooh, I'm going to have a really ugly kid when you're pregnant? I doubt it. And I know that you love kids, or you love your own kids no matter what, but, like, what if it comes out ugly? And you actually think it's ugly as a mom. Like, that sounds so bad. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
I love this girl for her honesty. I love how honest she is. She's afraid that her baby's going to be ugly and that she won't love it. Honestly.
I'm scared of having a weird kid. That's a fear of mine. Like a weirdo kid.
Yeah.
If you don't have this fear, you're lying. Everybody is worried about if their kid's going to be ugly. And I feel like if you don't think that, then you're lying. So I think that's a normal fear. As for the ginger thing, like, you could probably avoid having a ginger baby depending on who you have a child with, right?
Yeah,
like
unless
if
you're
you
a ginger.
have sex with a ginger, then, or somebody that has ginger in their family, then you could potentially have a ginger baby. You can avoid that.
You know, I don't know do you guys ever think about, I spend so much time in my life thinking about like Punnett squares, like do you remember this from science?
Like so vividly.
For like eye color specifically, like big T, little t, like I always to myself, I'm like, I have to marry someone with blue eyes because regardless, or blue eyes or like green eyes or something. Cause if I marry them with brown eyes and like we have 4 kids, only one of them's gonna have blue eyes. Like, it's just a ridiculous. And I think about that all the time, but yeah, no, I think that everybody's afraid of of ugly kids. What are you going to do?
It's a very good fear. I mean, not good, common.
I think also though it's, mothers will say that you always love your child no matter what. So it's like, I guess you don't know till you get there. As of now, I'm with her on it. This one is from a girl who feels like she just might have too many friends.
Okay.
Hey guys, I love your show. Absolutely love it. My name's Alexis. I'm calling about the friends topic because as a 28-year-old, I have a lot of friends getting married and people getting married in my life. Not me, but other people. And they just have hordes and hordes of bridesmaids. And I just want to know, like, is it normal to have that many friends, or am I a complete loser for having, like, 4 core best friends who I would want by my side in any situation like that, whether it be married or, like, jumping off a cliff? Like, where do all these people come from? Is it dramatic to have crazy amounts of girls by your side and the bachelorette party and all the money you've just spent? It's crazy amounts of people. Like, am I crazy, or do girls just have too many friends sometimes? I don't know. Maybe unpopular opinion, but love you guys, and thank you for posting this weekly. It makes my week.
Love you.
Yeah, we love you, first of all. And I actually think we talked about this, the three of us, we talked about this the other day, and we talked about girls who have like 20 million different groups of friends with 20 friends in each group.
That many people.
Yeah. I feel like you can't be that close to that many people. Like, of course, maybe they're your friends, but not like you don't want 20 people to be your bridesmaids type of situation, right?
I totally feel that way. And I have a good friend of mine who is in a group of like, and this is what we were talking about, a group of like 15 fucking girls. And they are like, all are married and like, they're all at each other's weddings and whatever. And it's like, they are all still good friends. But I feel like, like if I were to get married younger, like say I'm like 23, 24, whoever would have been in my like bridal party at that point, I'm probably not really friends with right now. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? I don't ever want to like look back on my bridesmaids and be like, who are they even my friends anymore?
Yeah.
And my mom says that. My mom says that about her own bridal party. She's always like, oh, it was like mostly my friends, but some of my best friends like weren't even in my bridal party. And like, that's weird. So I think that the getting married thing and like the bachelorette parties and it's all fun and stuff. But right, when you start thinking about the fucking money and like all that, it gets, you feel like way too many fucking friends.
Yeah.
I think it's highly overrated having big bridal parties and big weddings.
I don't even want a big wedding.
I don't want it either. I
want my boys and I want to get fucked up.
Yeah. We want to go beast mode at the wedding.
I'm just trying to go beast mode.
I always tell my family, I'm like, nah, I'm not inviting that person to my wedding whenever I get married. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Rhea? You have to. They're in our family. And I'm like, but do I? Because I don't really want a wedding. Care? No. I don't even want a bridal party. Like, I don't want any. I just want to like get married, done, and then be on a beach somewhere with my friends having a good time. Like, I don't want to have to go through all the processes of like picking bridesmaids and then you leave somebody out and somebody gets offended. Then you got to send them a little, will you be my bridesmaid gift? Then you got to get them more gifts and then they got to plan stuff for you. And it's a headache for everybody. It's a headache for the bridesmaids. It's a headache for the bride.
Too involved. Yeah.
Who wants to do all of that? I never understand when people get so into it. I listen, I say I don't understand. I get it. It's a thing. It's like,
it makes sense, but it's hard.
But I think it's time to start normalizing people who don't want those things and just like want to get married one day very quickly and then be
like
on
a chill
somewhere.
wedding. Yeah.
Chill. Yeah. It's not the worst thing. Like you have the option to not have a 20-person bridal party. Like you don't have to have that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Pregnancy fetish, pregnant women.
Hey guys, my name's Chip Whitley. First off, love the podcast. I have a great time listening to you guys, and now that we can watch it on YouTube, it's even better. But I wanted to call in about the topics of fetishes because I have a fetish that unfortunately I am not really ever able to act on because my fetish is for pregnant women who majority of the time are in a relationship. I just wanted to see if you guys had any advice or know anyone else who has a pregnant woman fetish. Thanks.
What do we think?
My first piece of advice would to not put your name in the next time you call and say you have a pregnant woman fetish.
Yeah, so I like, he said his whole name.
I
know he said his whole name, and I was like, and I kept thinking to myself, like, he knows, but I'm wondering maybe it's a fake name. Chip Whitley sounds kind of like a fake name.
Yeah,
So
it does sound.
it could be just like an alias or something.
Okay.
But no, if that's his government
Chip.
name, then like everybody knows that you want to fuck pregnant girls now. I'm sorry,
I would say get a girl that wants to get pregnant, that wants to have a lot of kids, and then you could have your personal little pregnant lady all the time.
There you
go to town on that pregnant
Go to town on that pregnant
Does he
bitch,
want, I wonder if he like wants kids. Like I feel like I want to call him back. Hey, Chip.
I know, do you want
like,
kids,
I
or
have
do
a
you
couple
just
more questions.
like how the pregnant lady looks, so you want to fuck, but you don't want the child afterwards?
I feel like I know that, or I've heard that is like a thing, like that people, like men sometimes will think like pregnant women are so beautiful and whatever.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's that, like, I always am like, oh, well, they have mommy issues. Like it's like the nurturing vibe, I guess, like that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. Like it is tough. How do you find like pregnant girls willing to fuck when
that's
it's
true?
not
I
your
feel
own
bad
person?
for him. Yeah. Because you
Yeah,
can't really,
it's really tough.
You can't let that happen.
It's very hard.
Maybe find somebody who was knocked up and isn't in a relationship, and she's a single mother who is probably lonely, wants some tender love and care, and then dip. No, I was bad.
Yeah,
and then leave. Become
and leave before it's born.
The serial single motherfucker. Like you just
that's who Chip is.
Yeah, Chip is just going around to pregnant women who are single, that their baby daddies left them, and he's fucking them and leaving them dry. And they call him the serial single motherfucker.
There it is.
Wow. I have a side note. Is Chip an abbreviation, like a nickname, or
Chipper?
What is your real name? Is it just Chip? I just think Chip Skylark.
I think Chip comes through like it's probably one of those things where it's like you're the third, so they call you Trip. So it's probably like Chip off the old block.
Crazy. Yeah, okay.
Like this.
I didn't know if it was like Chipper or Chippathy.
The nicknames for like people who like, you know, are whatever in like the lineage but have the same name as like their dad and their grandpa or whatever. They always have like weird names like Chip and Trip and dumb shit like that.
Crazy Chip.
Let's see. Let's jump from that one to this very sweet one. This is like a very wholesome one. And then after that, I'm gonna lay a bunch of bad shit on you. This is called like friends that are like sisters in a good way.
Hi, my name's Ashley, and I just want to say that I love your guys' podcast so much. And for this week's episode on F, I wanted to talk about friends really quick. So about 5-ish years ago, my sister died, and my best friend, who is just like a sister to me, like this is a really wholesome story. She wrote me the sweetest letter ever. And it's just so crazy how friends have become family to some people, and they really just, I don't know, it meant a lot at the time, and it still does. So I just kind of wanted to share that it's nice when you're so close to people that they can always make you feel like so nice in even sad moments like that. Again, I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys are doing great. Bye.
What an angel.
So sweet, yeah.
What
It's
a
so
sweet
true,
note.
though. Like friends, I feel like we all have one friend or more that just really feels like family. It's a good
100%. Yeah, where you can, who you know is going to be there if shit gets real. You know, like if something is going on where you're like, I need someone who like I'm not going to be embarrassed. You know, to like expose how upset I am, to like I can fully grieve, and you know, I need someone to lean on, and it's nice to have friends like that. I thought that was a really sweet one that I wanted to share.
It was cute.
And her voice was really sweet. So
it was
so
soothing.
nice.
She sounded
so soothing.
little. Yeah,
right. Like like tiny. She reminded me of like I pictured her as like Kit from The Bachelorette right now. Like I don't know why I thought that, or Kit from The Bachelor. Like just how she, like her voice sounds is how I picture she looks. Okay, this one's kind of funny. This is about best friends, but maybe like not forever.
Hey guys, so I want to talk about the topic friends. I just feel like the older that I've gotten, I've noticed that friends that I thought I would be best friends with for the rest of my life, I don't really talk to anymore. And it's nothing on either person's side, but I just kind of want to know your guys' take on, you know, dealing with growing apart from people that you thought you'd be close with like the rest of your life. And I know you tend to be friends with people that you live in the same city as, but how do you deal with that kind of thing? Okay, thanks guys, bye.
That one I thought was, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I thought it was a sweet thing to show that like it really does happen all the time, you know, like it's a hard thing.
It's not intentional. Sometimes you just like grow apart and it kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Rhea?
And I feel like it's just like you realize that even we talked about it earlier, everybody feels that way at some point or another. So if you feel guilty that you're not like getting along with one of your friends like you used to, or you're just friends because you've known each other for a long time, if they're not doing it for you, don't feel bad cutting them out of your life. You don't need to be friends with people just because they live in the same city as you, or just because you grow up with them. If they are not a good friend to you,
don't feel guilty.
Don't feel guilty about it. They're not your friend.
It's a very good point, Rhea.
Totally agree with that. Completely agree. Okay, let's switch it back to some sex. This one is bestiality related, ladies, so buckle up.
Oh, God. Shane Dawson?
Uh-oh.
What's going on, gals?
Wait.
Stop.
Shane Dawson.
I just threw that in real quick. I didn't really want anybody to focus on that. I just wanted to keep on moving
I know,
along.
I'm sorry. That was a great joke. That was so funny. It derailed me so much. Okay.
What's going on, gals? It is your bud, I should say, Alex, from Boise, Idaho. I got a little story for you about fetishes. I think this kind of falls into the fetishes category. So, back in Michigan, there's this, I won't call anyone out. It's a big college there. And the story goes around that this chick got caught fucking a dog. Or I don't know if she got caught really, but she self-incriminated and videotaped herself getting fucked by a dog. Kind of a fetish, I suppose. And the video ended up going around, though, and fell into my group chat. And I gotta say, it was pretty fucking graphic. You could really see the dog giving it to her. So, yeah. And then, crazy part is, she ended up fucking killing herself afterwards, after that all got out. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Love you guys. Love what you're doing. Have a great one. Bye.
Oh my God. First of all, Alex, love you too. That was a great voicemail. But
best voicemail ever. What the fuck?
I couldn't wait. Literally, what the fuck? So just to reiterate, it was this girl had somehow like recorded herself having sex with the dog, and then the video of her having sex with the dog made its way around school, and everybody saw it, and she was like the dog fucker, and then she killed herself a year later because of it.
I would just recommend not. First of all, not fucking a dog. Second of all, not recording it and sending it to people. Like that is just clearly a suicide note. Like that. Like that's fucked up. Oh my God.
My first
I don't even feel bad.
why would you
I don't feel bad.
that?
You fucked a dog. Like
I don't either. I don't feel bad really either. I'm like, you know
my
what?
My first thought was
weirdo.
Why would you record that? And then I was like, wait. Why would you fuck the dog? Like, like we're all like, oh, you should have recorded. But like, why did you even fuck the dog in the first place? That is not the first time I heard a story like that. There was a story going around my high school that a kid used to put peanut butter on his dick and have his dog lick it off. And I feel like that was a story that went around often to many schools. I feel like that's just something you make up about a kid. You're like, that kid puts peanut butter on his dick and his dog licks it off.
My aunt walked in on that.
What?
My aunt used to work at
on
like
you?
when she was
putting,
younger.
On
me. No,
she put her on her clit.
She worked at the corner store with like this crazy creepy lady. Like she was like a really bigger lady. Like had 3 dogs and like never had a lover. And my aunt always had to bring the cash register money upstairs like after the shift because she lived above the corner store. And she opened the door and she was like, hello, whatever her name was. And she wasn't answering. So she like went in to give it to her. And she had peanut butter on her vagina and the dogs were licking it off on the bed. And the lady didn't see my aunt. And then they continued working together. And my aunt had saw it and never told anyone. And it was just a whole thing. And it's so fucked up.
No.
People are fucking crazy. Don't fuck your dogs. Don't let your dogs lick your pussy. That's so insane. That's so insane. That's bad.
Are
I'm showing you for that fetish.
Bad.
Listen, this is what we learned from this episode. People are so horny that they'll hang themselves. And also so horny that they will put peanut butter on their dick,
on their
or vaginas, so that their dogs lick it because they can't get any other action, that they need to get it from their dogs. People are sick. People are absolutely sick.
So
Kelly,
sick.
no more voicemails. I want to end on that note. That one was that one is not going to get better
I don't know if
than
I can
that,
top it.
and it's not going to get worse than
You
that.
can't.
You know what I mean?
That was fucking
I don't
awesome.
think I can top it. That was
great.
I couldn't top it. You know what we should, we'll save more. We'll do an extra episode with like overflow voicemails and like, an extra little YouTube situation, and I'll read more because shockingly there are more that are just like fucking crazy like that. It's insane.
Yeah.
People are
do an
nuts.
extra.
People are nuts.
Listen, that was some sick shit, but sick shit
Yep.
is what we want on this podcast. So keep it coming.
True.
Keep
Keep it
calling
coming.
us
That's
up.
what we want to talk
Kelly,
about.
What's the number?
Absolutely keep it coming. The number, hold on. Fuck. Why didn't I have that ready? Keep it coming. The number, it's 551-258-3436. Call probably between like Sunday or so and Tuesday. That's when we try to get it all in by then.
Hell yeah. For this week's table read, I feel like since we've kind of told everyone about the pineapple and all the pineapple we indulge, I felt it was only right that we do a scene from Pineapple Express. And this is a 3-people scene, which we haven't really had in a while, like a good 3-people scene. So it's like the last scene where they're at the diner and they're talking about all the fucked up shit they did. And it's 3 idiots just like us.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Okay.
So Rhea will be Saul, Kelly
Yes.
will be Red. and Bree will be Dale.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. By the way, we didn't practice this at all.
No.
We never
Oh, yeah,
even
no
gone through
practice.
it. Like, this is firsthand. If we fuck
No
up,
practice?
we fuck up.
Yeah.
We're actors.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Like I feel very unprepared right now, but
I
I'm
feel unprepared
ready
too,
to bring
and
my
I
all.
wrote it. Okay.
Guys,
let's
come
do it.
on.
We
Remember
got
last
this.
week when I said I was unprepared and I fucking knocked it out of the park every single
Yeah.
script we did?
You're right. You're right.
All right. You guys are like both of my best friends, and you didn't even know it, but now you know it, and we'll all be best friends.
You know what we should get? Those hearts that break up and say best friends. We should get the 3-1 of those.
3-way.
I don't even think they fucking make those.
We should make the first one.
3-way. I want the middle piece will be crooked on both sides.
I know I've said this again and again, but 1,000 partners, please.
Me too, dude. I've been a dick to you. I'm sorry.
I was an asshole. I hope I redeemed myself with you. And I know me.
Kelly, you're
I don't
so
even know.
flat. You're so
I don't even know
flat.
what's
It's unbelievable.
I gotta tell you this. I don't even know this movie. I don't know this movie. I don't even know what to do. I just watched
Wait,
the scene.
did you say 1,000 partners?
That's what it says.
What
Does
is it?
not
I
say-
don't know.
No,
I
'cause
couldn't figure out what he was saying.
Pardons, like
1,000
pardon you.
partners, 1,000. Oh, pardons. Okay, I'm gonna write
I
pardons.
listened to it 10 times trying to figure out what the fuck he was saying, and I was like,
that was
1,000
so dry
partners?
and
1,000
flat.
partners?
Also, Danny McBride like is like that. I'm just going off of. I think that he's
Danny
dry and
McBride's
flat. So I'm gonna be like
funny.
him. Yeah, but he's sarcastic and monotone, which is all I
You
have.
weren't
That's my
being
whole thing.
sarcastic. You were just being monotone.
You're right. I don't fucking know. I gotta watch this movie again. Anyway,
You
all right,
got it.
start-
We got it.
I think we'll see. We'll see. Keep
Also,
let's
like,
start it again.
in this
Start
scene,
from wherever.
Danny McBride is like basically dying, like at the table. Like
Yeah, he's like he has the
a neck brace on.
Yeah.
He got shot
Yeah.
like a bunch of times.
Okay. I also have
Okay.
to. I can't see you guys while I'm reading it, so I can't even see my own face. It's a whole thing. I'm making excuses, but it's a whole thing.
All right, where do we want to pick up from? 3-way?
Wherever you guys want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say 3-way.
Hold on. I know you guys. This is a struggle for me here today. It's not my day. Okay. You said 3-way. I don't even think they fucking make those.
We should make the first one.
3-way. I want the middle piece, and it will be crooked on both sides.
I know I said this again and again, but 1,000 pardons. 1,000 pardons, please.
Me too, dude. I've been a dick to you. I'm sorry.
I was an asshole. I hope I redeemed myself with you. And I know me, and you and I have our deal.
Yeah, we've had some times now, man.
Something's happening here.
Sure is.
Ooh, is that a boner?
Is that us moving into an apartment together?
Is that us getting a timeshare?
You threw an chest right in his face. At the time, I was like, whoa, but that was kind of funny.
I didn't want to hurt you, but at the time I was like, you're not gonna fucking leaving here.
Ah, that was such a good fight, man.
It was, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that car chase was pretty awesome.
You guys got into a fucking car chase? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, bro.
I had my foot through the window and my groin. I had my foot through the window and my groin. I felt like a fucking wishbone. I just feel different about everything now.
Me too.
I never want to kill anyone else again.
Ever.
Yeah, that's something you can pretty much just dip your toes into, you know? We dipped our toes into murder.
I killed like 6 guys, I think. What about you? We shot like several people.
Some people get a taste for it, but I don't.
Yeah, I shot someone who was already dead, so that doesn't really count as a murder.
Yeah, but apparently you hit him with your car, I'm told, so like you kind of killed him.
Oh, okay. So I did murder somebody. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Whatever. Kill or be killed, right? That was awful.
That was so bad.
That was so bad.
That was so bad.
Why was it so bad? That was so hard.
I think because there's like a pause, like that kind of hurts it. But
I think it's the Zoom fucked us up. You know, we're better at we're method actors. We need to be in it, and we need to get it to win it.
Yeah, I'm not feeling all my emotions on my own couch. I feel like I'm in my house. You know.
I think
like
I
to
won that
see you
one.
guys. I think I could have won that one.
I think nobody won that one because we were all terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna give another like no one deserves it.
No one deserves it.
No one deserves it. No one fucking deserves it. No, you guys, we are out. I almost want to keep this in.
No, don't stop listening to this podcast just because this was bad, guys. Please.
We're just having a downtime. We're down bad at this moment. Like we are not in our groove, but that doesn't mean that we are not actors. We will come back.
This is true.
We will make our names, and we're trying to find our good characters, and we're having a hard time. It's trial and error, and we will figure it out.
We forgot to mention that we were recording this remote today because of safety precautions. We never even mentioned that in the beginning. We'll be back in the studio soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we'll be
we
back.
will. Yeah. Very soon.
This was just a 1 week thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
We hate it just as much as you guys do.
Yes, very much.